Welcome to Rethinking E-commerce. My name is Ryan Wright, and I'm going to give you a quick and brief introduction to this course. Our first live lecture actually takes place next Wednesday, but I wanted to give you and show you around the course space so you knew what to expect before we get into the content here. So obviously you're in the course now that you're seeing this video, and you're seeing a couple things. So first of all, you're going to see this button called Contact Me. Now obviously that'll give you my contact information, but it's also going to give you Bo's contact information, who is the course TA. You're going to interact with him a couple times, not much, throughout the semester as well. So another thing you're going to see is the syllabus and the schedule. So this is probably the most important document that we see. So let's jump right into that. So the syllabus here talks about the course, and you can read that just as well as I could. Talks about the course goals, about learning concepts, figuring out the business model canvas and the value proposition canvas and some other things. It also gives you my email again in another place. Now I do request that we have an appointment when we do meet, and it could be a live or via Skype or phone, or really however you want to contact me. I'll make that happen. So the course deliverables, there is readings, and there are in some important readings they're assigned, and I'll show you those in the schedule area. I ask that you please contact me and use your UMass email address. It's the only way for me to verify that I am talking actually to you rather than through Gmail or some other things that would violate federal law. So I have a easy makeup policy. There are no makeup late papers. Of course things happen, but if you let me know in advance, I'll work with you. It's just really hard to do if things have already passed, for me to scramble for you to participate in a discussion that happened last week and that is closed. I am more than happy to talk about any of your graded material. In fact, encourage it if you don't understand anything. I just ask that you do that within 2 weeks, so it's fresh on my mind, fresh on your mind, and then you can't go back and say, a month ago I wasn't sure what this was about. Within 2 weeks really helps the conversation. So we have some graded activities. We'll have these online discussions, which I'll talk about in a second. You'll be an online discussant at least once this semester. So what that means is you basically post questions, and I'll give you an outline and some directions in a little bit. And then you have graded activities and projects. These assignments will be posted, and I'll show you your first one. Your grading scale is typical. We do have a couple books for this class. We have a brand new book, Mapping Experiences. We have another book called The Value Proposition Design, which is a follow-up for the famous Business Model Canvas book, and a really good book in our foundational thinking on platform scale. So you'll see those books. We'll utilize them, and you'll see them. So for academic dishonesty, the easiest way to think about this is you must cite all original work. So if it's not yours, then put a cite on it. If the words aren't yours, then put quotes around them, and a citing is the easiest way for that. If you have a disability, please let me know, and I'm happy to accommodate that in a manner you see fit. So if we look at the schedule, and this is a tentative schedule, so things may change. Mostly things change because speakers' schedules change. And we have a really good speaker coming in from L3, which is a manufacturing environment that does some really cool things. So you're going to see the reading. So I ask you to do the reading before class if you're going to attend the class or attend the live session. So it's important you do it before the class so you can be engaged in the conversation around that particular reading. So by next class, I'll ask you to read a couple things as we do this. I'm also going to invite you either to attend the online portion of this class or attend the live version of this class. Now, for whatever reason you can't do either of these things, then you're going to get a recording of the class. You're going to look at that, and there'll be an online discussion where other students who couldn't attend either the online session or the live session of these particular classes. Assignments are due usually the Sunday after class. So in this case, Sunday, September 11th at a minute before midnight, we're going to have this online discussion. This time it's an easy, live introduction about yourself, and I'll show you that in a second. More typically, what you're going to see is we have an online class this week. So in these weeks, I'll assign discussants They will produce questions, a provocative question about that, and then there'll be a conversation online about that particular reading, and there'll also be some deliverables that are geared. So we have 5 sessions that are live sessions. We have the September 7th, the September 21st, the 12th, and October 26th. And of course, our last session on December 7th. So those are the ones where I'll invite you either to show up live or come in online through our system, or if you can't do either of those things, then you'll participate after in the discussion. So there's kind of a lot of ways to consume this class. If you, for example, if you could attend September 7th, but you can't attend September 25th, you can switch modes as the class progresses. So if you did some sessions online and through an online discussion, other sessions that you jump on your computer and you pipe in and you get involved in the class discussion through your laptop, that would be fantastic as well. So we have those we have those 5 live sessions again, and the rest will be held online and asynchronously. So what about this online discussions and these discussion instructions? So if you click on these discussion instructions, it's going to walk you through exactly what I'm expecting. So I encourage you to read this document in its entirety, but I'm going to give you a few things to think about. First of all, during the first week of class, I'm going to assign discussants for each one of the readings. And in that discussants, you're going to generate one provocative question about that reading. You're going to create a thread, and then you're going to post that question. And there'll be maybe 2 or 3 other people that do it for that same week. So you're going to monitor that question and look at the other questions and answer it as well, and really follow up to see and drive an interesting storyline. After the end of that discussion on that Sunday night, the next week, you're going to summarize that discussion just like in 100 words. What did that discussion about, and how does it relate to the class? So I gave you an example of how that's done. I'll make sure that the folks who are going first really understand the process for that. In fact, in week 2, which is our first online discussion as a class in its entirety, I'll be the discussant. So you'll see what questions are asked and how to do that. So the role of the participant, this is what you'll do every week. And every week that we meet online, and for those, this will be every week if you're not attending either an online or live lecture session. So it talks about what you need to do, how to be a good discussant, and basically you answer all the questions. And then I'm asking you to go back and look at a couple things that are interesting to you, other people's answers, and comment on them or point to some other resources. So really create a class-like environment online. So if we go to course content, you're going to see I posted the first 2 weeks there. So the first week is your reading, which I'll ask you to do. The second thing I ask you to do is a video discussion. So these video discussions are kind of neat. This first one, if we click on it, is what I'm calling a wall of videos. So after students post, you're going to be able to see each other's videos on this particular page. And you're only answering 3 simple and easy questions, and I'm asking you to do this in under a minute. So where are you in your graduate studies? What do you hope to gain from this class? What's your favorite online business innovation story and why? Just a quick introduction. And all students will do this, so you'll get to learn all the students' names and their perspectives in this particular class. You just click on this record video and away you go. So that's all I'm asking you to do this week. Next week is your reading again. There'll be an online discussion, and that's for everybody to do. I'll post the questions, you'll answer it, and you'll also comment on other people's, and I'll remind you with all this information. Every week you're going to get a weekly email saying this is what we need to do, and this is your choices on how to do it. Week 2 assignment, this is where you're going to develop a proposal for your online product or service. So I've given you an outline, and your book talks about how to make a particular proposal and how to think through these particular issues. But I really want you to start thinking about what would be a cool idea to manifest itself online. Some sort of online product or service that I can build out the idea and really vet and test to see if it's worth its weight. So this is the first step towards that. If you click on class-wide discussions, you're going to see the general questions, post anything there, and I'll try and answer it. In fact, I ask that any questions that don't have to do with grading or anything sensitive, go ahead and post in the general questions. I might remind you if you email me, and that way all the students can see the answers with that. And then we have this week 1 discussion for online students only. So if you were not able to attend either the live session or you weren't able to actually connect and watch and participate on your laptop, this is when you go and look at these particular questions for week 1. So I'll post those questions and you go ahead and answer it. And then for week 2, since we have no live class, everybody's going to go ahead and participate in that. Of course, you'll use the My Grades buttons as you go and matriculate through this class. And then I have a tech review, a weekly newsletter that I send out that just highlights some really important, innovative things in the digital landscape, in the digital thinking and business space. So that is the summary of how to get started on this class. If you have any questions, of course you can post them in the questions area in the case-wide discussion. And we're going to get going Wednesday night, so I'll invite you all to attend, and those who can attend. At that point, you can start actually participating with those questions. So thank you, and let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns.